long because speaking of Los Angeles Police Department, and again, the LAPD really caught, I hate to say it like even like this, like a lucky break by all of this Nuri Martinez madness because it seems to me as though the LA news cycle didn't even, I mean, it barely registered that the LAPD shot and killed somebody else. Let's throw up that tweet, Will, from the LAPD PIO, Public Information Officer. Very cash, very cash. Listen, check this tone. The casualness of the tone here, in which they say, a brief jeez, I can't even read. A brief foot pursuit ensued. During that foot pursuit, an officer involved shooting. There we go. Buzzword. Officer involved shooting occurred. The suspect, only described as a man in his 40s, was struck by gunfire and taken into custody. I'm sorry, what? So you're telling me out your mouth that you shot somebody and then you took them into custody. What does that mean? Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics responded to the scene and determined that the suspect was deceased. But I don't know what this person is suspected of doing, and apparently neither does the Los Angeles Times. And I was trying to get this up and about so everybody could read it, but it's really not much to read, and I'm gonna read it for y'all because the Los Angeles Times is doing basically the work of the Los Angeles Police Department Public Information Officer. The LAPD, this is what their headline reads. It says, a man killed in police shooting after crashing stolen truck in Wilmington, LAPD says. Now, I don't see why the man being in a stolen truck is relevant. If you want to tell me he crashed a truck, okay, but why did he crash? And the fact that they put in this headline that the truck was stolen offers a default assumption of criminality on behalf of the person who was murdered by the Los Angeles Police Department. And even from within their own tweet, the shit already don't sound right, do it, y'all? They said the man crashed the truck, a foot pursuit ensued, and a shooting occurred. So that sounds like to me as though the person who was murdered by the cops was running away from the cops. Okay. How many times we're going to hear the same record over and over again? It sounds as though he was running away. If a foot pursuit denotes the cops are chasing him, meaning he's running away. No, and let me read the the LAPD Times, right? It might as well be the LA fucking PD Times, right? This is very short. So a man died in a shooting with police officers early Tuesday after he crashed a stolen truck in Wilmington and tried to flee, according to the Los Angeles Police Department. At about 3:30 a.m., police officers were pursuing a stolen truck near Quay Avenue and E Streets, according to LAPD social media posts. A man in his 40s, oh wow, this is so bad. A man in his 40s was driving the vehicle, and after the crash, he got out of the truck and ran away, the LAPD said. Officers chased the man on foot and shot him, police said. The man was taken into custody after shot. So basically, again, this horrific practice by the police of literally handcuffing dying people and or people who have already died is so goddamn barbaric and speaks badly of fucking white juju. I think I feel as though it is like some fucking white supremacist caucasity sort of, not spell casting, but like a spiritual power flex. Like when you handcuff or shackle people who are dead and are dying, I feel as though that potentially does something to somebody's soul. I know that may be a little out there generally of a statement to say, but that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like, why the fuck do y'all keep doing this? If it were not for some just depraved motivation. So officers chased the man on foot again and shot him, police said. The man was taken into custody. Los Angeles Fire Department paramedics pronounced him dead at the scene. And the only other thing that the LA Times offers here is the man's handguns at the scene were at the scene and were booked as evidence, police said. No bystanders or officers were wounded during the shooting. The incident is still under investigation. Now, I like to watch John Oliver. I on HBO last week tonight with John Oliver. I'm not saying it's the greatest, but what I really appreciate is the in-depth reporting. John Oliver's analysis on some shit I could kind of take or leave. But this past week, this past Sunday show, he talked specifically about the way that crime and quote unquote violent crime is reported by local news media. And he got in depth into some points that I have made here repeatedly on this program about the fucked up way that police say journalism, officials say, authorities say, according to police. If you're only getting the perspective of the police, you're going to be telling the public a lie, media outlets. Anything that comes out of the cop's mouth, especially the first things, the first version of events is always laden with lies. Always. I don't know if there's any truth in what we just read from the Los Angeles Times because they sourced all of their information directly from the Los Angeles Police Department. The only thing I'm inclined to believe is the age of the person that was murdered. They said in their 40s. Okay, maybe that's true. I don't know for a fact that this person physically had handguns, which again, for them to bury that at the end is very non-police PR of them, right? Because usually if the quote unquote suspect, which again is a problematic characterization in the first place, but yes, if the person that police are pursuing, if they had a gun or if any shots were fired or even just merely the possession of the gun didn't even have to be fired. That's usually some shit that they lead with, right? That's usually some shit they don't bury that at the end. That's the reason usually for the person for police to say that the person was shot is because they were armed, right? So the murder person whose name I don't believe that we know as of yet. And again, I think a lot of that's intentional. But if they were armed and driving the stolen truck allegedly, and again, I can't even rely that that's accurate, right? Nothing the police say when they take somebody's life, when they take a civilian's life, is ever the truth. It is always spin because these police act as actual executioner squad. You were running away from police. You were driving a stolen truck. You had something in your hand. Like these are reasons that the police use to just flat out assassinate people in public who are regular civilians, more often than not, who were not doing whatever the police initially accused them of doing. So I want to say shame on the Los Angeles Times, even though I do not really expect more from the Times, but just for emphasis, y'all need to do way fucking better than the LA Times. This is why when we're looking at Los Angeles, that's why I have so much love for the independent local journalists out there. Cerise Castle, Vishal Singh, who is we've had some other youngins from Cali. Big up to Film the Police. Even though we haven't had them on here, I would love to have them on there. Like Los Angeles has got some high quality independent local journalists there that cover the police way more better, way more accurately, and way more reflectively than ABC7, KTLA, the Los Angeles Times. They do a terrible fucking job. They are always there to give the police the benefit of the doubt. And this LA Times piece about this, I believe this will be LAPD's 14th murder of the year. According to the People's City Council, the LAPD, this is not the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department numbers, those are separate numbers, but the Los Angeles Police Department has shot 30, killed 14, including this person who died this morning on Tuesday morning there in LA. So we want to send our condolences to the family of this person. Again, we don't know their name. All we know that I believe reported is that they were male and in their 40s. Everything else, all the other details. Oh, and I do believe that they handcuffed him after they shot him and probably when he was dying. Now that I do believe. The rest of that shit, in that puff piece about the LA Times, sourced by the LAPD PIO. Don't believe none of that shit. Don't believe none of that shit. Um, let me take a quick pause